I've been posting on LinkedIn for about 2.5 years now. And over the time, I've published over 200 posts. And here are some things I didn't expect when I started. You see, almost everyone that I started posting with are gone. And that's not because they weren't smart enough or they lacked the experience or expertise. For whatever reason, they just didn't stay in the game long enough. And if you're early on LinkedIn right now, there's a good chance that you're standing exactly where most people decide to quit. So today, I want to share 9 truths about surviving your first year on LinkedIn. Be honest, there are some things I genuinely haven't seen any LinkedIn or social media coach talk about before, but no worries, I don't gatekeep, so let's get into it. Truth number 1, your first year isn't for your audience. You see, one thing that really helped me early on was something that Ali Abdaal said about YouTube. He said, your first 50 videos aren't for your audience, they're for you. And honestly, the same thing applies to LinkedIn as well. Your first posts aren't about building an audience, they're actually about building you. They teach you how to think in public, how to explain your ideas, what you enjoy writing about, and how it feels to show up when nobody's clapping yet. So if your first year feels slow, that's because it's not designed for growth yet. It's designed for laying the foundation. And once you accept that, the next truth becomes a whole lot easier to understand, which is the quiet phase is normal. Believe me when I say that I know how it feels like when you start posting consistently and the views, the engagement, the likes, the results just aren't there. You're writing thoughtful posts, you're formatting them nicely, you're hitting the publish button, and then nothing. A few likes, maybe a couple of comments, but sometimes just silence. And naturally, your brain starts to fill in the gaps. Maybe LinkedIn isn't for me, maybe I'm not good enough, there are far more experienced and more knowledgeable people there, why should even somebody listen to me? So on and so forth. Believe me, I know the drill. But that quiet phase isn't the sign that it's not working. That is the work. That's you learning how to show up without an immediate validation. And that's exactly where most people quit. Which leads directly to the third truth. People don't quit because of skill. As I said in the beginning, people don't quit LinkedIn because of lack of skills or lack of post ideas or lack of time or lack of expertise. They quit because they don't have a strong enough why. Or as I like to say it, they haven't figured out their minimal ROI yet. Let me explain. One of the biggest fears that people have when it comes to LinkedIn or Instagram or actually whatever social media platform is that once I commit to it, once I start posting there, once I spend hours on writing the text, creating the carousels, filming the videos, that when I put so much time into it, then I won't get anything in return. And that's where the minimal ROI, if you have figured it out for yourself, helps you stay in the game longer. ROI means return on investment, which in this social media game means that what are some of the tangible things that you can still take with you, even if you don't achieve this huge success, even if you don't get millions of views or viral videos or thousands of clients or thousands of likes or whatever you are hoping to get from social media. So one question that I would like you to ask yourself is, what would you get from LinkedIn even if it never blows up, even if you never become the big LinkedIn influencer with 100,000 followers, for example? Because if the only reason why you are posting there is to get more clients, more leads, more followers, then you're putting yourself in a very fragile position. And because of that, the next truth becomes very important, which is results are out of your control, but your effort isn't. Because followers, leads, cool invitations, job opportunities, they usually come later on in the game and they're largely out of your control. So instead, it helps if you focus on things that are in your control. For example, honing your writing skills, learning how to think clearly in public, showing up consistently even if nothing seems to happen yet, and sticking with it for weeks or even months before you see some tangible results. Because if your minimal ROI already includes clearer thinking, better communication skills, a strong portfolio, confidence in putting yourself out there and sharing your ideas publicly and becoming more visible, and also getting the proof that you can stay consistent, then LinkedIn is already paying you back, paying you dividends. Just not in the way that you expect yet. And to make this even more real, let me share some numbers with you, because the progress takes longer than you think. For example, for me, it took 7 LinkedIn posts before my first job offer. It took me 20 posts before my first one-on-one consultation inquiry, and 32 posts before my first corporate workshop inquiry. And only around that time did I make my first dollar thanks to LinkedIn. Yet most people quit after just a couple of posts, or they're barely posting once a month or once a quarter, and they expect super extraordinary results. So I really hope these numbers show you that no, you're not supposed to publish 5 posts and then already get a life-changing opportunity, a new career opportunity, or your first or next 6-figure client. Progress on LinkedIn is gradual, and for a long time, it's invisible. By the way, if you've been enjoying the videos so far, please consider subscribing to the channel, because I'll be sharing more this type of LinkedIn and content creation and building in public and building your personal brands and becoming a better public speaker and becoming more visible online stuff on a regular basis. So I'm sure you don't want to miss out. Now, even if you understand all of this that we've talked about this far, then there's still something that quietly messes with people's heads. And that truth is that comparison is a rigged game. Maybe you've experienced it yourself. You go to LinkedIn, you start scrolling, and you see people going viral. Sometimes they're just posting random quotes, but they still get thousands of likes. And now you think, what am I doing wrong? But the thing with LinkedIn, as with any other social media platform, is that you only see the winners. You don't see the posts that flopped, you don't see the people that quit, you only see the stuff that the algorithm thinks would be valuable for you, which already most of the time has 1,000 likes, millions of views, so on and so forth. So what ends up happening is that you're going to compare your chapter 1 with somebody's chapter 10. I guess we can both agree that this is a thief of joy, and it most likely won't lift you up, rather puts you down. So instead of going to LinkedIn and comparing yourself to big creators, big influencers, other people who have been in the game for years, there's something else that I would recommend you to do, which brings me to the truth number 7. Peers matter more than big creators. Meaning that instead of idols, find yourself some peers. So find other creators, colleagues, employees, schoolmates, friends who are at a similar stage, at a similar account size, or on a similar journey. And then start rooting for each other. Start commenting on each other's posts, start giving advice, what to do better next time, and start an accountability partnership. These people are far more relatable and motivating than big creators who can just sneeze, post a video of it, and they still get 2,000 comments saying bless you. And before we wrap this up, there are 2 things that need to be said. First of all, nobody has the algorithm figured out. Nobody actually knows how the LinkedIn algorithm works. Not the big creators, not the growth experts. Actually, even people from LinkedIn have said it themselves that actually we don't know how the LinkedIn algorithm works. So when someone posts about cracking the algorithm or tell you that they know the inside out of how the LinkedIn algorithm works, they're either delusional or they're just guessing or straight up lying to you. So please don't let that noise sway you. And the last thing that I want to share with you today is that sustainability and systems beat motivation. Because if you really want to survive on LinkedIn, you need to make it sustainable and systemize some things. For example, what I like to do is to gamify LinkedIn, meaning that instead of obsessing over the outcomes or the outputs, I obsess over inputs and I track my actions. And how I'm doing it is that I've created myself a little Google Sheet page where I track how many comments I add on a daily basis to other people's posts, how many connection requests I send out, how many posts I publish, how many DMs I sent, so on and so forth. And I've added different colors, different numbers there, and created my own rules on how to grade the success of the day, because as I mentioned before, you cannot control the outcomes. You cannot control how many posts, how many likes this specific post gets, or how many views it will get, or how many leads it will bring to you. But what you can control is the efforts that you put into LinkedIn. So just turn it into a game where the goal is to just keep going. Because when you zoom out, surviving your first year on LinkedIn really comes down to this. Build for yourself before you build for an audience, find your minimal ROI, and optimize for staying, not winning. Because if after 1 year you're still posting, you feel more clear in your thinking, you trust your voice more, and you didn't burn out, you're already ahead of most people. So surviving the first year is the win. The growth, the followers, the clients, the leads, the brand deals, they come later. And if you want help getting started on LinkedIn, optimizing your profile, getting your first post out there, and just want somebody to guide you through this LinkedIn maze, then feel free to reach out. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.